There's no doubt that the development of plastics in the early 20th century revolutionized the way we manufacture and consume products of all kinds. It's clear by now that those benefits also brought on severe environmental consequences. Many are easy to see, but what about those effects that rest just beyond our natural perceptions? The Plastics Lab in British Columbia has been researching plastics with cutting-edge technologies to gain insight into microplastics in Canada's aquatic environments. Their discoveries are changing the ways we look at our decisions as consumers.
Hello, my name is Shreyas Patankar. I'm a research scientist at the Oceanwise Plastics Lab. We work in collaboration with Canada Department of Fisheries and Oceans at Pacific Science and Enterprise Centre Lab in West Vancouver, BC. I'll walk you into the lab and you can see what the exciting research is all about. The Plastics Lab is a unit of Oceanwise that looks for science-based solutions to the problem of microplastics in our oceans. There has been some research and characterization worldwide that has pointed to a number of different streams. One of the ones that we have studied in our lab has been the path of synthetic polymer microfibers that make their way from consumer textile products. We get them in our washing machines. They shed fibers when they're in the washing machine. These fibers through the water make their way to wastewater treatment plants, which are quite good at capturing them and dealing with them properly, but they are not perfect. So we still have a large volume of microfibers entering the ocean through laundry machines.
The lab collects samples from a wide variety of water sources, municipal wastewater treatment facilities all the way to the Arctic Ocean, both of which have serious microplastic pollution.
We are able to get a good idea of how many microplastics, how many microfibers are there, what is their relative proportion to everything else in the waters, get some hints about where they might be coming from, where they accumulate, what are the various risks associated with them.
And polymer microplastics from clothing isn't all they've identified in our oceans. Larger pieces of waste, aptly named macroplastics, have been found too, though not in the form you might expect given their original size.
But actually the majority part of microplastics are called secondary microplastics. So they are actually fragments, like breakdown from bigger pieces. The longer they stay in the environment, they tend to break smaller and smaller. And once they break down to a certain size, especially in the ocean, they will accumulate organic content on it. So we call it biofouling. So they're not just flowing on the surface, they tend to sink down into the bottom.
Results from around the world, including our lab, has shown that these have been found in zooplankton, different species of fish, all the way to beluga whales. We know from reliable estimates that it's rapidly increasing, so the emission of microplastics is increasing very rapidly. For a typical North American individual, consumes about a credit card's weight of microplastic in a year.
Once the microplastic is in the environment, it takes quite an amount of effort or energy to clean them. So the best way of solving this problem is actually turn off the tap to preventing it actually going into the environment.
So, what does turning off the tap mean when it comes to changes we can take now as consumers? The good news is, the technology and techniques to solve these issues already exist. We just need to take action and spread these ideas to build awareness around them.
If possible, house laundries, they can install a lint trap that can actually improve the capture of the plastic fibers, efficiently capture them, starting from the beginning.
The very first thing that people can and should do is make sure that they are up to date on these kinds of initiatives and supportive of government actions to solve this problem. The best impact you can have is with the fabric that you didn't buy. even if it's the best environmentally friendly product, it's still worse than a product not being purchased.
As an environment researcher, I feel positive. People are more aware of how their activities going to change the environment. We've seen those actions, so I think those keep us positive.
To me, the biggest takeaway is that by doing this science and doing some of this research, we can have an impact on the oceans. Like I see the ocean right from where we work. It is a reminder that hopefully some of the work that we are doing can have a meaningful impact on reducing damage that we are causing to this ocean environment.
Thanks to the cutting-edge research that scientists like those at the Plastics Lab have been conducting worldwide, we have clear, evidence-supported actions that we can take to reduce the release of microplastics into our oceans. Small actions have a big impact. Take the first step by reducing your plastic consumption. Go even further and install a lint trap in your washing machine. Support environmental programs and initiatives in your community. And lastly, tell your local, provincial, and federally elected officials to make plastic-wise policies a priority.